Boxing truth here. I had to talk a little bit about Amir Khan following his devastating knockout loss to Canelo Alvarez this past weekend. And even though there's calls for him to retire from some of his closest family members, Amir Khan has decided to continue on with his career as he plans to fight 3 to 4 more times before calling it a day in boxing. And he still wants the biggest names out there, still wants the biggest fights available to perhaps win some big fights in his career and leave a legacy and not leave that lasting memory of him getting flattened and chinned by Canelo Alvarez. So he's looking to move back down to 147 pounds, but he's going to continue to avoid his rival and still his biggest money fight out there against Kell Brook. But Khan, it's going to be tough for him to come back from that type of defeat, getting flattened and slept with one punch. But it's not the worst defeat a boxer could have. I mean, a lot of fighters and trainers will tell you that it's better to get slapped with one punch than to get beaten down by accumulation of punches and then getting stopped. Just to get beat up for 10, 11 rounds and getting stopped. It's a lot harder to come back from that type of defeat than just getting slapped with one shot. It's not as, doesn't take a greatest toll on the body as a beatdown type stoppage would. So it is possible for Khan to come back and be able to maybe get a few wins under his belt. But it still takes away something from a fighter psychologically, mentally, when you get slept like that with one punch. So it has affected other fighters in the past. It's ruined them. It's made them lose their confidence, made them lose something psychologically. So going by the interview with Amir Khan, it's not looking like he's looking to fight any soft touches. He ain't looking for easy work. Doesn't seem like he's interested in any showcase bouts to get back in the win column. But if I'm handling his career, that's something he should do. Right now, we don't need to be fighting any big punches. We don't need to be fighting any knockout artists. So let's get back into the win column. Maybe fight a Mauricio Herrera type fighters, guys with not that type of big knockout power. A big name, but a guy that's not gonna put Khan's lights away. So I know Amir Khan's the mandatory challenger to Danny Garcia for his strap, but right now we don't need to be fighting any big punches. Right now we need to be following the advice of Danny Garcia's father and trainer, Angel Garcia, who once said, "Why fight a killer? Why fight a killer for the same type of money when you can fight a Rod Salka type fighter for a very decent payday?" Just to, get Amir Khan back in the win column, get his confidence back, get him back, in a big fight with more confidence, more momentum going into the fight. So Amir's probably going to return in December. He should take some time off, rest of body, rest of mind, be in better spirits when he gets back into training, and then see what his options are in the welterweight division. He does have options. He can force the mandatory challenger to Danny Garcia, but that's a very dangerous fight right now. A counter puncher who already stopped you before, and he could probably do the same fate to you in a rematch, or even worse, maybe get slapped this time instead of being stopped on your feet. So I don't think that's a fight Amir Khan needs right now. But Amir Khan has been consistent for over the past year. He wants to fight the biggest names. He wants the biggest fight possible. And he ended up getting that fight, but received the worst possible fate. So now he's looking at Danny Garcia, a Timothy Bradley, and he still mentioned Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao just recently won a seat as a senator, so it's very possible he's really going to retire. So he may be out of the cards. But Timothy Bradley is a good fight for him, actually. It's a good fight for him. How possible it could be made? I mean, Khan is able to negotiate outside of the PBC universe, so maybe it is possible for his next fight. I mean, Timothy Bradley is also coming off a loss. I'm not sure what the plans are for him. I'm hearing maybe a rematch with Jesse Vargas. Well, that's a fight he could very well lose this time, but it'll be for his strap. It's also an in-house fight, so it's very possible. But I would like that fight for Amir Khan. That fight was always supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen 5 years ago, but Bradley made a business decision that made a better career for himself, put him into position that he is now, on the verge of maybe perhaps reaching the Hall of Fame after getting all these big fights and big money fights and being on the pay-per-view platform. So if he didn't make that decision, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. So that's why he turned down that Amir Khan fight. But it's always been the fights that was discussed before, never happened. Was discussed a couple of years ago because of a IBF ranking situation, but it was never able to come to fruition. Maybe that's a fight that could happen. It's always been a fight that's been mentioned before. Danny Garcia, nah, I don't like that fight for Khan. You know what? Another good fight for Amir Khan is an Andre Berto. I know they're stable mates, but it's a good fight for Amir Khan. Berto can still punch, but he's physically shot. Doesn't really let his hands go, and I think that's a fight Khan could win. But considering they're stable mates, that's probably not going to happen. But for whatever reason, Khan is just doesn't want to fight Kell Brook. Still looking for ways to swerve his way out of a fight with him. Still a big fight that could be made down the line. I mean, Khan needs to get back into the win column for it to be even worth watching, because Khan could receive the same fate he received from Canelo to Kell Brook, which is probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want to fight him. Now, Kell Brook, after watching Amir Khan get iced, stated that he was willing to fight him next if he wanted to, pretty much kicking him while he's down. But he's already backtracked it on that statement, saying that it'll be dangerous for Amir Khan to fight Kell Brook next after just getting flattened like that, because he could receive the same fate, that he punches just as hard. Kell Brook punches just as hard as Canelo. It'll be stupid of Khan to go after him next, because he could possibly get slept if he were to fight Kell Brook next. But Khan has stated that he has no interest in fighting Kell Brook. It's something personal. He just doesn't like him, and it's the reason why he won't give him the fight. He doesn't like him. Doesn't want him to. He doesn't want to give the. He doesn't want to give him the payday. But Amir Khan had a point in one of his reasons of not fighting Kell Brook, that, Kell Brook's promoter Eddie Hearn keeps saying that he's massive, that he's this, that he's a big superstar in the UK, but he's not, and it's true. I mean, Kell Brook he ain't the biggest name in the UK. He was well short of a sellout his last fight when he fought Kevin Bizier. Only around 7,000 people showed up for his last fight. But considering the opponent he fought, that's expected. Let's see how Kell Brook does with a big name attached to his. Let's see what type of real draw he is in the UK if he fights a well-recognizable name. But he might not ever get that chance, as Amir Khan is just not willing to fight him. It's personal. Doesn't even matter about the money. Amir Khan's already made a lot of money in his career. It's not like he really needs it, but it'll be a good fight for him, for his self-respect, for the fans in the UK. It's been years since he's fought there. That'd be the perfect fight to go back on his home soil and fight in front of his UK following against his rival in what still would be a big fight if Khan can get back into the win column and get some momentum going into that fight. But doesn't look like it's gonna happen, and it is what it is. Amir Khan's gonna do what he wants to do. He's gonna possibly go after Danny Garcia. That's an option for him. I just think that's a bad fight for him right now. Amir Khan is what he is. When you watch Amir Khan fight, you could see why he was a better amateur than he is as a pro. And let me just explain this: that Amir Khan excelled in the amateurs because of the point system in at that time. Now the amateur boxing system has changed, and you're going to see the changes for the 2016 Rio Games. Whether they allow professionals, that remains to be seen. I don't think they should, but you're going to see a whole different type of point system. It's going to be more professional type style. But in Amir Khan's day, during the amateurs, when he was coming up and going through the rankings in the amateurs, the point system was Olympic type style. It was very different. It was pretty much you could land slaps, even taps on your opponents, and they would count the punches. So Amir Khan was very effective with the type of style that he had in his amateur fights. Headgear, only 3 to 4 rounds, much less time to catch your opponent. And also he would throw a lot of fast, flashy punches, combinations, and he was able to out-hit a lot of his opponents, out-touch them. And that's what made him very successful as an amateur. He had a fast style, threw a lot of punches, and the rounds were shorter and a lot lesser rounds, and also with headgear. So it was a lot tougher to beat Amir Khan in the amateurs because you didn't have as much time to catch him, as much time to put him to sleep, and also you didn't need to land just big shots in order to score points in that point system in the amateurs. But as you see, as his career has transitioned into professionals, he hasn't been that successful. He's had 4 L's. He's won 2 titles, but it's been years since he's won a belt, since he's had any hardware around his waist. But you could just see why he's been more successful as an amateur than as a professional. Because professional boxing, prize fighting, it has to do more so with, usually there's still some issues with the scoring, the type of the style some fighters implement in the professional prize fighting, but usually professional prize fighting, it has more to do with the damage of blows you land, not just the number of blows you land. It's not always that whoever lands the most punches on CompuBox that's the automatic winner, like it is in the days where Amir Khan was an amateur. It has to do more so who lands the bigger, better, more effective punches in professional prize fighting that determines a winner and the other scoring criteria. But Amir Khan is who he is. I wish him the best in his future, in his career, for how many fights he has. I believe he should fight guys that are not big punchers, not knockout artists. There are some guys in the welterweight division he could fight, and he could possibly still be very successful with. He should definitely gun for that Timothy Bradley fight. He should definitely consider a rematch with Peterson. Peterson's not a big puncher, so that's a winnable fight for Khan. Andre Berto's a winnable fight for him. Also, Adrian Broner. He should also consider a fight with Adrian Broner. That'd be a fun fight. Those guys have talked about fighting each other in the past. But, he should also, if he gets a couple of wins under his belt, he should stop being a bitch, fight Kell Brook, try to win a world title by taking away the strap from his rival if he can. Most likely he will get slept if he fights Kell Brook. But, you never know until you fight the fights. But y'all let me know what y'all think. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.